Imagine this. You wake up, and before you've even stepped out of bed, your mind is already working against you, whispering, "You can't do it." Or, "Today won't be any different than yesterday." Isn't it astonishing how quickly our thoughts can sabotage our day before it even begins? I've found that negative thoughts are like weeds in the garden. You don't need to plant them. They're always ready to sprout up on their own. You know, weeds require no invitation, no encouragement. They simply appear. Your job isn't to wonder why weeds appear. Your job is to notice them, recognize them, and then remove them swiftly. Negativity works exactly the same way. The quicker you remove it, the less power it has over your life. Now consider this. Negative thinking never arrives alone. It brings friends, doubt, worry, fear, anxiety. You ever notice how one negative thought multiplies rapidly until it's created a storm in your mind? Soon enough, you're dealing with 10 worries instead of one. The challenge then isn't merely about resisting negative thoughts, but learning to replace them, and quickly. You can't just wish negativity away. You have to plant something else, something better in its place. Throughout my life, I've observed that people who master their thoughts, who actively engage in planting positive seeds, they become the leaders, the achievers, the people we admire. Meanwhile, those who let their negative thoughts dominate become trapped, stuck, unable to move forward. Both of these people had the same opportunities. Both had setbacks, but their lives ended up completely different simply because of the thoughts they allowed to dominate their minds. You see, your thinking shapes everything. Your philosophy, your habits, your actions, your entire life. If you're here today, you already sense that negative thinking is costing you dearly. Perhaps it's costing you opportunities, perhaps it's costing you your health, or perhaps it's stealing away your happiness, one day at a time. But here's the good news. Changing your thinking is entirely within your control. You don't need more money, you don't need better circumstances. All you need is awareness and determination. Today we're going to uncover precisely how you can eliminate negative thoughts, replacing them with empowering ones, those that serve you rather than sabotage you. You'll possess tools powerful enough to transform your inner landscape, so weeds become rare occurrences, and instead, you'll find yourself growing a garden of confidence, optimism, and strength. You see, the first key to conquering negative thinking is simply awareness. Awareness is the starting point of all meaningful change. Think about this carefully. Before you can fix something, you must first notice it's broken. Before you can uproot a weed, you must see it clearly for what it is: a problem, an intruder, something that doesn't belong. For many years, I used to think my life was determined mostly by circumstances. I thought that negative thinking came naturally from the outside world. Of course I'm negative. Look around. Things aren't perfect. My job, my finances, my relationships. But that was my first mistake. Circumstances don't create negativity. They simply reveal it. Let me share with you a powerful lesson I learned early in my life from my mentor, Earl Schultz. He said something so simple, yet it shook me deeply. He said, "Jim, you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a victim of your thinking." Now that phrase changed everything for me. I realized my negativity didn't come from my external conditions. It came from inside my mind, from the way I responded, the way I interpreted life's challenges. Ask yourself honestly, how often have you blamed your unhappiness or negative thinking on external things? On other people, perhaps? Your boss, your spouse, the government, the economy, even the weather. Now think about it. Have you ever noticed two people in the same exact situation, yet they react completely differently? One sees obstacles and the other sees opportunity. How could that be when they share the same environment, the same circumstances? The difference, my friends, is their thinking. When you accept the reality that negativity is a choice, not a destiny, your life changes dramatically. You stop playing the victim. You realize that even in difficult situations, negativity is optional. You see, circumstances aren't nearly as powerful as the story you tell yourself about them. The moment you become aware of this, you reclaim tremendous power over your life. Now, becoming aware of your negative thoughts isn't always comfortable. It can be unsettling, even a bit painful, because you have to admit, maybe I've been sabotaging myself all along. But discomfort is a necessary part of growth. Without discomfort, there's no motivation to change. If everything were comfortable, we'd remain exactly the same, trapped in familiar but destructive patterns. I remember clearly, early in my career, experiencing significant financial struggle. Debt was piling up, stress was overwhelming, and I was becoming deeply negative. Every morning, my first thoughts were about what was going wrong, what I lacked, what I owed. It was exhausting, and I mistakenly thought my negativity was justified. But then came a powerful turning point. Mr. Schoaf, he asked me, "Jim, do you know why you're stuck financially?" I replied, "Because I don't have enough money, obviously." He shook his head, smiled, and said, "No, Jim, it's because you don't think properly about money. Your negative thoughts about money are keeping money away from you." Now, I didn't want to hear that, but deep inside, I knew he was right. You see, my awareness had begun. Once you're aware of negative patterns, you can't easily slip back into denial. You become accountable. And accountability, my friends, is powerful. It forces you to take responsibility for your thoughts and choices. The day you accept full responsibility for your thoughts is the day you begin to control them, rather than allowing them to control you. Here's what you do to start building this awareness. You pay close attention to your language. Listen carefully to the words you use throughout the day, both in conversation and inside your mind. Do you often say, "I can't," "It's too hard," "Things never work out for me"? These phrases are clues, signals that negativity is present. Each time you hear yourself using negative words, pause immediately and acknowledge what's happening. You might even say out loud, "That's a negative thought. Do I want to keep it?" By doing this, you interrupt the negativity. You're shining a spotlight on it, and negative thoughts, like shadows, diminish under the power of light. You see, your thoughts are often just habits. Yes, habits. Many people think negative thoughts reflect reality, but they're simply habits you've developed over time. Mental grooves you've worn into your mind by repeating certain thoughts over and over. Habits of negative thinking, though deeply rooted, can be replaced. It takes time, yes, but every habit can be changed by creating new ones to replace them. Here's a vivid way to think about it. Imagine your thoughts as paths through a dense forest. The more you travel one path, the clearer it becomes, the easier it is to follow. If negativity has become your dominant path, it's likely because you've walked it again and again. It feels familiar, comfortable, even if it's destructive. But now imagine creating a new path through the forest, a positive path, one of optimism, possibility, hope. Initially, it's challenging. There are obstacles, branches, weeds to clear. But every time you choose this new path, it becomes clearer, easier to travel. Eventually, this positive path becomes your new habit, your preferred route. And here's what's incredible. The negative path, unused, soon becomes overgrown, difficult to travel. Your mind naturally prefers the positive. This principle holds true in all areas of life. If you constantly dwell on negative outcomes, negative events, disappointments, you're reinforcing that mental path. You're strengthening the habit of negativity. But if you consciously redirect your thoughts toward gratitude, solutions, and possibilities, you're cultivating a new habit. You're transforming your mental landscape. One final point on awareness. Don't become discouraged when negative thoughts reappear, even after you've made significant progress. They will show up again. That's life. The goal isn't perfection. It's improvement, consistent progress. Each time negativity resurfaces, see it as a reminder to practice awareness. Acknowledge it, interrupt it, and choose to shift your thoughts back onto a better path. The quicker you respond, the less power negativity will hold over you. Awareness truly is the beginning of freedom. Freedom from negativity. Freedom from self-sabotage. The moment you commit to noticing and interrupting negative thoughts is the moment you reclaim control over your life. Once you've become aware of negative thinking, the next critical step is understanding how to challenge and replace it. You see, it's one thing to notice weeds in your garden, but noticing alone won't get rid of them. You must actively uproot them and plant something better. Negative thoughts function precisely this way. They need to be actively challenged, confronted, and ultimately replaced with thoughts that serve you, empower you, and lift you up. Remember this, your mind can hold only one thought at a time. This might seem simplistic, but it's profoundly important. You can't simultaneously entertain a negative thought and a positive one. So every time you actively choose a positive thought, you displace the negative. You're literally reshaping your mindset, thought by thought. Imagine the power of this practice applied consistently, daily, for weeks, months, even years. Soon enough, your thinking shifts permanently. Now, challenging negative thoughts requires courage. You see, negativity often feels comfortable. Strange, isn't it? How can something destructive feel comfortable? Because it's familiar. Many people choose familiarity over change, even if familiarity is hurting them. This reminds me of a story from my hometown about a man who always complained about the rusty nail on his porch. He'd sit there every day, complaining about how uncomfortable the nail was. One day, a neighbor asked him, "Why don't you just get up or remove the nail?" The man said, "Well, it's uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable enough to move yet." Think about that. How many of us sit on our own rusty nails, our own negative thoughts, unwilling to move because the discomfort isn't severe enough? Yet, every day that nail hurts us, draining energy, joy, opportunity. The time to move is now, not tomorrow, not next year. When you challenge negative thoughts immediately, you avoid unnecessary suffering. And there's a straightforward process to do this effectively. When you catch a negative thought, ask yourself these powerful questions. Is this thought true? Is it helpful? Is it empowering me or limiting me? These questions quickly reveal the quality of your thoughts. Most negative thoughts are exaggerations or outright lies. You know, you might think, "I always fail." Now, let's honestly examine that thought. Is it true? Have you failed every single time? Of course not. Maybe you've had setbacks. Yes, but certainly successes as well. By challenging the accuracy of the thought, you weaken its hold on you. You start to see the reality that you are capable, that you've succeeded before, and you can succeed again. You see, negativity thrives on exaggeration. It loves words like always, never, impossible. When you challenge these exaggerations, negativity loses its power. Replace always with sometimes, and watch how quickly your perception shifts. Replace impossible with challenging, and instantly your outlook changes. You regain control over your thinking. So whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively about a situation, immediately ask yourself, what else could this mean? Imagine you're stuck in traffic running late. The negative thought might be, this is terrible. My whole day is ruined. But what else could this mean? Maybe this delay is giving you time to reflect, slow down, or notice something you might have missed otherwise. Perhaps you're being protected from something worse ahead. You see, there's always more than one interpretation of events, and the interpretation you choose determines your experience. I once heard a powerful story that illustrates this perfectly. Two salesmen woke up one morning to find heavy rain pouring outside their hotel window. One salesman became upset, negative, thinking, no one's going to be out buying today. The day is wasted. He stayed in bed, sulking. But the other salesman became excited. He thought, this is fantastic. All my potential customers will be home. They won't be out running errands, playing golf. They'll answer the door. That day, the positive salesman had record-breaking success, while the negative salesman, of course, achieved nothing. Same rain, same circumstances, vastly different outcomes, entirely due to their thinking. This story contains profound truth. Your interpretation shapes your experience. You can see setbacks as disasters, or you can see them as stepping stones to growth and success. One interpretation keeps you stuck, defeated. The other propels you forward, inspires action, resilience, determination. And here's the good news. You have absolute control over your interpretations. Every time you challenge a negative interpretation, you reclaim power over your life. Another important principle, don't just challenge negative thoughts. Actively replace them. You can't merely remove weeds without planting something beneficial in their place. Imagine clearing out weeds, leaving empty soil behind. Without new seeds, weeds quickly return, stronger than ever. So, each time you remove a negative thought, immediately plant a positive one. You know, when your mind says, I can't do this, immediately replace it with, I can figure this out. If your thought says, I don't have enough resources, replace it with, I can become resourceful. Resourcefulness is far more valuable than resources. Why? Because resources come and go, but resourcefulness lasts forever. When you practice replacing negativity consistently, soon positivity becomes automatic. You become unstoppable. I want you to understand clearly, the goal isn't to eliminate all negative thoughts permanently. No human being can achieve this. Negativity is part of life, part of being human. But the goal is to shorten the time negativity stays in your mind. Don't let negative thoughts take root. Acknowledge them, challenge them, and swiftly replace them. The faster you do this, the more resilient, empowered, and confident you become. Soon, negative thoughts become mere passing clouds, brief interruptions rather than destructive storms. And here's the key. You have to start replacing negative thoughts is creating affirmations. Simple positive statements you repeat frequently. Affirmations might sound simplistic, but they're incredibly powerful. Why? Because they reshape your subconscious thinking over time. Your subconscious mind accepts whatever thoughts you consistently feed it, positive or negative. If your inner dialogue constantly affirms negativity, your subconscious believes it, and your life reflects it. But if you intentionally affirm positivity, your subconscious accepts this, reshaping your reality accordingly. Try this daily. Write down 5 powerful affirmations to counter your most persistent negative thoughts. If your negativity says, I'm always failing, Your affirmation might be, every day I'm learning and growing stronger. Repeat these affirmations aloud multiple times each day. At first, it may feel strange, even false, but remember, you're planting seeds. Seeds take time to grow, but when they do, their roots run deep. Soon enough, affirmations become your new truth. You have incredible power inside your mind, power to challenge and replace negativity with positivity. When you harness this power, your life transforms. Opportunities appear, relationships improve, happiness expands. You experience life as the great adventure it's meant to be. To truly master your negative thinking, you must understand the power of your environment. Environment is stronger than willpower. Now that may surprise you, but think about it carefully. Imagine planting beautiful flowers in poor soil with no sunlight and little water. No matter how carefully you tend those flowers, their growth will be limited. But put the same seeds in rich soil, give them abundant sunlight and plenty of water, and suddenly they flourish effortlessly. Your mind operates the same way. Your environment profoundly influences your thinking. If you're consistently surrounded by negativity, negative people, negative media, negative conversations, you'll struggle tremendously to maintain a positive mindset. You might succeed temporarily using sheer willpower, but eventually negativity seeps in, contaminating your thoughts. I remember clearly how this affected my life early on. I had a group of friends, well-intentioned people, but their outlook on life was overwhelmingly negative. Every conversation revolved around complaints, disappointments, limitations, and reasons why success was impossible. Initially, I believed I could withstand their negativity. I thought, I'm strong enough. Their thoughts don't affect mine. But I quickly learned otherwise. Over time, without noticing, their negativity seeped into my thinking, subtly shaping my beliefs, weakening my resolve. Soon, I began to see life through their eyes, limited, fearful, negative. Thankfully, I became aware of what was happening. One evening, after leaving a particularly draining conversation, I stopped and asked myself, why do you consistently put yourself in this environment? How can you ever achieve your dreams when you're constantly surrounded by negativity? That evening, I made a crucial decision. I would intentionally create a better environment. I began choosing carefully whom I spent my time with, the conversations I engaged in, and the influences I allowed into my life. Almost immediately, my thoughts improved, my outlook brightened, and my entire life began to change positively. Ask yourself honestly today, what kind of environment are you placing yourself in? Who surrounds you daily? What messages, conversations, and ideas consistently enter your mind? You see, your environment either lifts you or drags you down. There's no neutrality. Every conversation, every interaction, every influence either moves you toward positivity or toward negativity. Choose carefully, because environment shapes you, often far more powerfully than your intentions or willpower alone. Understand clearly that this doesn't mean abandoning friends or family who struggle with negativity. It does mean consciously managing how you interact, how often, and on what terms. You must learn to be selective. For example, when you're with someone who consistently focuses on negativity, gently redirect conversations toward positivity. You'll quickly discover whether they're willing to change or whether you must limit your time around them. It may feel uncomfortable initially, but your mind and life depend on your courage to protect your mental environment. Let me tell you a story from my own experience. Early in my career, when I began studying personal development, I was excited to share these ideas with friends and colleagues. But to my surprise, many resisted. They were skeptical, even cynical. They preferred negativity over the responsibility required to think positively. At first, I was discouraged. Maybe they're right, I thought. Maybe I'm naive, overly optimistic. But soon I realized this was a test. Would I allow others' negativity to shape my future? Or would I protect my dreams fiercely, unapologetically? I decided to choose carefully, to surround myself primarily with positive, growth-minded people. And you know what happened? My dreams became reality. My optimism became justified, validated. This choice isn't always easy, but it's essential. I want you to grasp something important today. You become like those you spend the most time with. If you consistently surround yourself with complainers, critics, and pessimists, you'll naturally adopt their outlook. But if you surround yourself with achievers, optimists, those who see possibilities instead of problems, your mindset elevates dramatically. You absorb their habits, their language, their perspective. You begin to believe in yourself, your dreams, your ability to achieve extraordinary things. Your environment includes more than just the people around you. It includes everything you allow into your mind. Books, music, conversations, television. Everything influences your thinking, subtly or overtly. If your environment feeds negativity, your mind inevitably produces negativity. It's that simple. Consider carefully the kind of media you're regularly consuming. Does it inspire or discourage? Does it elevate your mindset or diminish it? Do your influences challenge you positively? Or do they reinforce negativity, cynicism, hopelessness? Years ago, I made a powerful decision to turn my car into a classroom. Instead of listening passively to negativity on the radio, complaints, fears, and worries, I filled my time with inspiring audio programs, motivational teachings, success stories. My commute became transformational, reshaping my mind daily. Within weeks, I noticed a profound shift in my thinking. I felt energized, motivated, optimistic. Small daily decisions like these have enormous impact, compounding dramatically over time. I challenge you today, examine carefully your daily influences. Replace negative media with positive, inspiring resources. Swap endless news cycles filled with fear for educational or motivational materials that lift your spirit, stimulate your imagination, and empower your thoughts. Remember, every influence matters, no matter how small. Your mind is always absorbing something. Why not choose influences that build you up instead of tearing you down? Let me give you another powerful suggestion. Actively seek mentors. Those who've successfully mastered positive thinking, who've achieved goals you admire, who demonstrate daily optimism, resilience, and strength. Mentors don't need to be physically present. They can be authors, speakers, historical figures whose wisdom you study and emulate. Your mind needs role models, examples of what's possible. Fill your life with people whose attitudes, habits, and successes inspire you to elevate your own thinking. Soon, you'll naturally mirror their positivity. Now, let's be clear. Changing your environment requires intentional effort. Initially, it might feel uncomfortable, unfamiliar, even challenging. But soon, the rewards become unmistakable. Your thinking improves dramatically, your outlook brightens, your energy multiplies. Life feels exciting again. You begin attracting better opportunities, relationships, and results, all because you've intentionally shaped a supportive environment. Remember this clearly. Environment shapes you. But here's the great news. You have absolute power over your environment. You decide whom you spend time with, what messages enter your mind, what influences shape your daily thoughts. Exercise this power wisely, and negativity will rapidly lose its grip on you. You become free, optimistic, empowered, able to achieve extraordinary things with ease. Once you've reshaped your environment, the next critical step in conquering negative thinking is mastering your focus. You see, what you focus on grows. It's as simple as that. When you consistently focus on problems, fears, limitations, and setbacks, guess what multiplies in your life? More problems, more fears, more limitations, and more setbacks. But when you intentionally shift your focus onto opportunities, solutions, gratitude, and possibilities, suddenly your life changes dramatically. You begin attracting better results, richer experiences, greater joy. Now, you might wonder, Jim, is it really that simple? Just shifting my focus changes everything. Absolutely. Here's why. Your mind operates like a camera lens. Imagine for a moment you're looking through a camera. Whatever you focus on expands, fills the entire frame. Everything else fades into the background. Similarly, whatever you focus on mentally expands, influencing your feelings, actions, and results. The secret, then, isn't eliminating life's challenges. It's learning to focus on solutions, gratitude, and positive possibilities, even amidst difficulties. Years ago, early in my speaking career, I encountered significant challenges. Opportunities seemed limited, audiences were small, finances uncertain. Initially, my focus stayed fixed on those problems. I worried constantly, lost sleep, became discouraged. The more I focused on difficulties, the worse things seemed to become. But one day, my mentor, Mr. Schoaf, said something that just blew me away one day. He said, "Problems are like stones. You can stumble over them or build with them. The choice shapes your life." That simple wisdom changed everything for me. From that day forward, I consciously chose to shift my focus. Instead of dwelling on difficulties, I began actively searching for opportunities hidden within every problem. I asked myself daily, what's great about this situation? What can I learn from it? How can I use it to grow stronger, wiser, more capable? Initially, it wasn't easy, but gradually I noticed a remarkable shift. Challenges no longer overwhelmed me. They inspired me. Difficulties became stepping stones toward greater success, strength, and confidence. You see, your mind responds powerfully to questions. When you ask yourself empowering questions, your focus naturally shifts toward positivity. But if you constantly ask negative questions, why is this happening to me? What's wrong with me? You'll attract negativity, discouragement, and defeat. The quality of your questions determines the quality of your thoughts. Begin practicing powerful, solution-oriented questions daily, and watch how quickly negativity loses its grip. Another powerful way to master your focus is by developing gratitude. Gratitude isn't merely positive thinking. It's a profound discipline that transforms your entire perspective. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking in your life to what's abundant. Instead of noticing problems, limitations, and disappointments, gratitude naturally directs your mind toward opportunities, resources, and blessings you might otherwise overlook. Gratitude creates a sense of abundance, optimism, and possibility. 3 powerful antidotes to negative thinking. Here's an important exercise you can begin today. Every morning, write down 5 things you're grateful for. Don't merely list them. Take a moment to feel sincere gratitude deeply. Whether they're big blessings, your family, health, friendships, or simple daily joys like sunshine, laughter, a good meal, the goal is to focus intentionally on abundance. Repeat this practice every night before bed. Soon enough, gratitude becomes automatic. Your mind naturally seeks positives throughout your day, continually reinforcing your optimism, joy, and strength. I once heard a story about a man who struggled deeply with negativity. Life felt overwhelming, disappointing. He constantly focused on what was missing, what went wrong, what was unfair. One day, a wise friend suggested he carry a small notebook everywhere, writing down every positive moment, no matter how small. At first, the man resisted, skeptical. But reluctantly, he began noting little positives. Someone smiled at him. Traffic flowed smoothly. His coffee tasted good. Within days, his outlook began shifting dramatically. Positivity became his natural focus. Life became richer, fuller, more joyful, simply by changing his daily focus. You see, life is filled with both problems and opportunities. The question isn't which one exists. Both do. The critical question is, which one will you focus on? Your answer determines your entire experience. Those who habitually focus on negativity always see scarcity, disappointment, limitation. But those who master their focus habitually discover abundance, joy, and endless opportunity. The same circumstances, different outcomes, entirely determined by focus. And here's the thing you got to understand. Negativity thrives in uncertainty. When you're uncertain about your goals, your values, or your purpose, negativity easily takes hold, filling your mind with doubt, fear, confusion. But when you're crystal clear about your goals, your direction, your purpose, negativity quickly dissipates. Why? Because clear goals create powerful focus, guiding your thoughts consistently toward optimism, action, solutions. Clear goals eliminate uncertainty, preventing negativity from taking root. Have you clearly defined your goals? Are they compelling, exciting, motivating? Without compelling goals, negativity finds easy entry into your thoughts. But powerful, clearly defined goals naturally elevate your focus. They guide your mind towards solutions, resourcefulness, determination. Your goals become your North Star, illuminating your path, keeping negativity at bay. Make goal setting a daily discipline, refining and clarifying your purpose regularly. Soon, negativity becomes a rare intruder, unable to disrupt your focus or deter your progress. Now, sometimes negativity comes disguised as realism. People often justify negative thinking by saying, I'm just being realistic. But understand carefully, there's a profound difference between realism and negativity. Realism acknowledges challenges while remaining solution-focused. Negativity dwells endlessly on problems without solutions. Learn to recognize the difference clearly. Realistic optimism empowers action. Pessimistic negativity paralyzes. Choose wisely. Your entire future depends on this distinction. The power of your focus is extraordinary. When you harness it effectively, negativity stands no chance. Your thoughts naturally gravitate toward optimism, solutions, gratitude, abundance. Life becomes vibrant, exciting, fulfilling. Not because challenges disappear, but because your focus magnifies possibilities, strengths, and opportunities. You become unstoppable. You become master of your mindset. Finally, to conquer negative thinking once and for all, you must take consistent, decisive action. You see, action is the great antidote to negativity. Negativity feeds on hesitation, procrastination, indecision. But decisive action destroys its power instantly. When you act, negativity loses its grip. Doubts vanish, fears diminish, and uncertainty fades because action provides undeniable evidence that you're capable, powerful, and in control. Understand clearly that your mind thrives on evidence. If you've habitually engaged in negative thinking, Your mind has accumulated evidence supporting negativity, past failures, disappointments, setbacks. But here's great news. You can quickly build new, powerful evidence through decisive action. Every time you take action, even small steps toward your goals, you create evidence of capability, courage, strength. This evidence rapidly transforms your mindset, diminishing negativity permanently. Early in my career, I dreamed of becoming a successful speaker, but negative thinking kept me paralyzed. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These negative thoughts felt overwhelming, holding me back for years. But then, one day, I made a life-changing decision. I decided to act despite my fear. I booked my first seminar, stepped onto the stage, terrified but determined. And something remarkable happened. The moment I acted, negativity vanished. Why? Because action provided undeniable proof I could do it. Now, this doesn't mean negative thoughts disappeared completely. They still appeared occasionally, but every time they did, I immediately acted, building even more evidence of success. Over time, negativity became powerless, unable to hold me back. Decisive action became my greatest ally, transforming my life, empowering my mindset, proving to me and everyone around me that negativity could be conquered through bold, courageous action. Understand carefully. Action isn't just something you do occasionally. It's a habit you must cultivate daily. Your mind responds powerfully to consistency. If you consistently take decisive action, your mind quickly learns that negativity cannot stop you. It realizes doubts, fears, and worries are ineffective, losing their influence completely. But inconsistency weakens your resolve, allowing negativity to regain strength. Commit today. Make decisive action your daily discipline. Remember clearly, your actions don't need to be enormous. Small, consistent actions produce remarkable results. Every great achievement is simply a collection of small actions, repeated consistently over time. A single small step today matters far more than grand intentions tomorrow. Action builds momentum, confidence, optimism, everything you need to conquer negativity permanently. Think carefully. What's one simple, decisive action you could take today to move toward your goals, despite negativity? Perhaps it's making a phone call you've avoided, starting an important project, initiating an overdue conversation, or simply getting organized. Whatever it is, commit to doing it immediately. Don't delay. Negativity thrives on delay. Take action now, no matter how small, and feel the immediate surge of optimism, energy, and strength. And here's something else most people forget. Action clarifies your path. Many people mistakenly wait for perfect clarity before acting. They wait until negativity disappears completely, but clarity rarely arrives beforehand. Action itself creates clarity, dispelling confusion, fear, uncertainty. Each step forward illuminates your next step. The path unfolds naturally through action, not waiting. Negativity diminishes with every step forward. You see, action is profoundly transformative, not only externally, but internally. Every time you act courageously, you reshape your self-image. You begin seeing yourself as capable, resourceful, powerful. Negativity struggles to persist when your self-image improves. Confidence expands. Optimism multiplies. You become resilient, unshakable. Negativity simply loses its hold permanently. One of my favorite stories is about a young woman I met many years ago who dreamed of becoming an author. Yet, she struggled deeply with negative thinking. Doubts constantly haunted her. For years, she postponed her dream, believing negativity, fearing rejection. One day, I challenged her directly. Take action. Write one page today, even if it feels terrifying. Reluctantly, she began writing daily, consistently, despite negative thoughts. Within months, she completed her first book, Negativity Dissolved in the Presence of Action. Today, she's successful, fulfilled, empowered, living proof that action conquers negativity completely. Now, action requires courage, but courage isn't absence of fear. It's acting despite fear. Everyone experiences negativity occasionally. Fear, doubt, worry. But successful people don't wait for these feelings to disappear. They act boldly, courageously, despite negativity. Action creates confidence. Confidence conquers fear. Your ability to consistently act despite negativity determines your success, happiness, and fulfillment in life. Here's another powerful idea. If you consistently take action, negativity eventually gives up. Why? Because negativity thrives on resistance. The more you resist action, the stronger negativity becomes. But when you consistently move forward, negativity loses energy, discouraged by your determination. Eventually, negativity simply fades away, unable to withstand relentless action. Decide clearly today. Will you let negativity control you, or will you take decisive, consistent action, conquering negativity permanently? Your decision shapes your destiny. Choose action courageously, daily. Watch negativity vanish, replaced by optimism, confidence, power. Life becomes abundant, exciting, joyful, not because negativity disappears completely, but because decisive action renders negativity powerless over your life. And remember this, negativity feeds on hesitation. Action starves negativity. Each step forward proves your capability, strength, determination. Negativity cannot survive this daily proof. Embrace action courageously, consistently, and negativity loses its grip permanently. You become unstoppable. Your greatest dreams become reality, not through avoiding negativity, but through conquering it boldly, one action at a time.